In 2016, Stephen Pladl thought he'd finally found the perfect woman. That woman was his biological daughter. Even more disturbing is that the relationship wasn't even hidden. It was openly acknowledged by parts of the family. What followed wasn't just illegal, it became a chain of events that ended with 4 people dead across multiple states and a community in utter shock.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Someone just went by and shot this guy in the truck.
Somebody just shot somebody in a truck on Route 55, sir?
I can't even believe this is happening.
This is the story of a forbidden father-daughter relationship, a child born from it, and a final act of violence so disturbing it forced investigators to completely rethink what they thought they were dealing with. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider clicking like and subscribe, and with that said, let's jump right in at the start. To understand how this begins, you've got to go back to 1995. A 20-year-old Stephen Pladl meets 15-year-old Alyssa Garcia online, back when the internet was still the Wild West. No rules, no guardrails, just chat rooms where bad decisions could quietly turn real. And almost immediately, it spirals. Alyssa leaves Texas and runs off to New York to be with him. She's a minor, he's an adult. Whatever label you want to use, the line is already crossed, and now it's real life. Fast forward 2 years and Alyssa is 17, pregnant with Stephen's child, and in 1998 gives birth to a baby girl, Denise. But whatever they built, it's unstable from the start. Alyssa would later allege abuse toward herself and the baby.
She would cry and it would just instantly trigger him. He would curse, he would tell me to shut her the hell up. He would at times scoop her up and place her into a big cooler that we had. And then sometimes he would just shut it tight.
So 8 months in, a decision is made. Denise is put up for adoption and taken in by Anthony and Kelly Fusco in Dover, New York. She becomes Katie Rose Fusco. A new name, a new home, finally some stability. But then the story splits. Katie grows up normally, school, friends, future taking shape. Meanwhile, Stephen and Alyssa stay together, marry, and have more children. 2 lives running in parallel, never crossing. And for nearly 20 years, they don't. But then Katie starts digging into where she came from. And what she finds is a past that never should have found its way back to her. In 2016, after turning 18, Katie does what many adoptees do. She starts searching online for her biological family. One search leads to another, social media does its thing, and eventually she finds them. Her biological parents respond. And after calls and messages, Katie makes a big decision. She is going to meet them. And not just meet them, she moves in. She leaves her adoptive home and moves to Virginia to live with Stephen, Alyssa, and her 2 biological sisters. Her adoptive parents were worried, but supportive. She's 18 and they can't stop her. So for a moment, it feels like something meaningful, like a missing piece of life is finally in place. But behind the scenes, things are already wrong. Very wrong. The family starts to break apart. Stephen and Alyssa's marriage is already basically over when Katie arrives. Separate rooms, distance everywhere, and Stephen starts changing. Not subtly. Younger clothes, skinny jeans, long hair, a clear shift for a 42-year-old man trying to look otherwise. But the disturbing part is where his attention goes. It becomes focused on Katie. Not just bonding, not adjustment, something that makes everyone uncomfortable. Within weeks, he's sleeping on the floor of her bedroom every night. And when Alyssa confronts him, he dismisses it, says it's none of her business. The house at this point is collapsing in real time. And then it crosses a line that should never be crossed. Sometime in late 2016, Stephen and Katie's relationship becomes sexual. This is his biological daughter, newly reintroduced into his life after 18 years, and instead of boundaries, things spiral into something deeply inappropriate and illegal. Alyssa can't take it. She leaves, she files for divorce, and reports also suggest Stephen begins framing Katie as a new wife figure in the household dynamic. At this point, it is not just broken, it is distorted beyond recognition. By 2017, Katie becomes pregnant with Stephen's child. They move to North Carolina for a fresh start, and they get married in Maryland, claiming they aren't related, which is obviously false. Situation at this point has gone from disturbing to surreal. But Katie's adoptive parents remain in contact, trying not to lose her entirely. And in 2017, Katie gives birth to a boy named Bennett. That makes Stephen both the child's father and his grandfather at the same time. It barely makes sense, but that is where things land. So meanwhile, while all of this is happening, Alyssa discovers the relationship and pregnancy through a journal, one of her child's journals, and she immediately goes to police.
North Carolina investigators arrested the couple. Both face charges related to incest and will be extradited back to Henrico, where they first allegedly developed a sexual relationship.
In January of 2018, police arrest Stephen and Katie in North Carolina. Charges include incest, adultery, and contributing to delinquency. Both are released on bond with no contact orders. So Katie returns to New York to live with her adoptive parents. Bennett is placed with Stephen's mother. For the first time since their reunion, they are separated, and it actually at this point looks like a turning point. Katie is back in stability, away from Stephen. But it doesn't last. On April 11, 2018, Katie contacts Stephen. It's a phone call, and during it, she tells him the relationship is over. That's it, it's over. And for Stephen, that's the moment he completely snaps. First, he goes to his mother's house and takes baby Bennett. He brings the child back home in North Carolina. And at some point after that, the baby is smothered. He kills him. And then he drives over 600 miles to New York. The next morning, April 12th, he waits. He knows Katie and her adoptive father, Anthony Fusco, have a routine. He watches them leave, follows them, and finally, at a stop sign in Connecticut, he pulls up beside their truck and opens fire.
20-year-old Katie Pladl and 56-year-old Anthony Fusco were killed in his pickup truck in New Milford yesterday by multiple gunshots from an assault rifle. Police say pulling that trigger was Stephen Pladl, who was Katie's father, husband, and father of her baby.
After the killings, Stephen calls his mother. He tells her everything. That he killed the baby, that he killed Katie, that he killed Anthony, and she, in shock, relays the information to police.
911, address of the emergency.
Yes. My son just called me, and he told me oh my God, North Carolina, he killed his baby, and he's in the house.
Not long after, officers find his vehicle parked in New York. Inside, Stephen Pladl is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And in less than 24 hours, across 3 states, there are 4 deaths. A complete collapse of multiple lives tied together by something that should never have been allowed to develop in the first place. So what happened here? There's no clear answer. Manipulation, power imbalance, boundary collapse. What stands out the most is just how fast everything spiraled once contact was reestablished. A search for identity turned into total collapse. And in the end, it didn't just ruin one life, it erased several. Who, if anyone, do you think had the first real chance to stop this from spiraling? Alyssa when things first started going wrong, Katie's adoptive parents when the reunion happened, or Katie herself once she moved in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next insane true crime video.